Alistair, As you might know, Alistair came out last year together with Fall Caitlyn and Fall Morty, and with Gengar. And today, or rather this year, he will come out with a seasonal outfit as well. Is this version of Alistair good, or should you just skip, save for next month's villain arc units or something like that? Well, in this video, we discuss that. So don't forget, before we begin, to hit the thumbs up as it really helps with the channel and the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe if you haven't. Turn your notifications on and all. And let's get discussing. Cue the intro. Yo, 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 this is Sol, also known as SPL-gum, also known as Spatial-gum, also known as Grunt, Yari's Team Skull Grunt, and this is Pokemon Masters EX, where we discuss the last of the sync pairs that comes out this October update, which is Fall Alistair and Gourgeist. Now, before we begin, I would like to give a huge shout out to all the members who have been supporting me for the longest time. Thank you to all these people up here. Thank you very much for your support. If you want to help out the channel as well in more ways than just giving a thumbs up, subscribing, you can click on the join button down below and become a member of my channel and have your name appear just like these awesome people up here, which let me hide my face so that everyone can be seen. Alright, thank you so much everyone. Now, so as you might know, Fall Alistair is the last sync pair that comes out in this update, which is, he comes out 2 days after Fall Iris, who is coming out tomorrow if you've been watching this as a premiere, and both her and Fall Alistair ends on November 2. So, we definitely will know which sync pairs are coming out next month. Before they end, because the Datamine banner or something is probably gonna happen on October, or rather the Datamine is probably gonna happen somewhere between October 26 to 28, somewhere there, I guess. So we'll know who will come out soon, I guess. So, as you might know over here, the Poke Fairs that we have are SYGNA Suit WALLY and Victor. Victor will end soon, October 23. WALLY ends on October 30. And Spotlight Scouts, that means the permanent sync pairs are gonna be GORDIE and MELONY over there, as well as the limited units. There are 4 of them, including these 2, Fall Iris and Fall Alistair. We also have SYGNA Suit WALLY and Victor as limited time units as well. Now, the earliest time that Poke Fairs come out is like between 3 months to 12 months. And the Fall units, I'm expecting the earliest time they might run or rerun probably will be the 3.5 year anniversary as a special select scout, which is using paid gems, or maybe in the 4th year anniversary. Could be either of the two, but probably rarely in between, something like that. So if you want another copy, or if you want to skip right now, you might either wait for like a couple of months to at least a year to get the limited units of this update. So, that aside, if you want to check out my in-depth analysis of each one, a rather brief analysis of each one, you can check out my October sync pairs who to scout for video. Meanwhile, I also have scout and skip videos of each one, excluding SYGNA Suit WALLY. But I do have showcase videos of SYGNA Suit WALLY, so check them out as well if you haven't. And now, let's begin by talking about his Sing Move animation. Here we go. Lucariosa's. Do you think people will see the strength of Ghost-type Pokemon? Says Alistair. Alright, he is a support sync pair, and with level 140 stats, his defense stat actually goes above 300, that's 312. Very high HP stat, 717. Meanwhile, attack and special attack are pretty low at 195. Average speed, special defense pretty high, but that's that. You got two different Pokemon moves. You have Hex, and Hex basically if the opponent is is affected by a status condition, and that means burn, paralysis, freeze, whatsoever, sleep, and poison. Did I mention that? Poison, frozen, sleep, you know, those 5 I think status conditions. Hex will double in damage. Hex is a pretty weak move, but when it doubles, it's pretty good. Plus, it's just a 2-move gauge attack. Trick or Treat lowers the opponent's target Ghost-type rebuff by 1. And the lower the opponent's Ghost-type rebuff is, the stronger your Ghost-type's attacks will be. That includes Hex. And you can lower the opponent's Ghost-type rebuff by 2 stat ranks by using Trick or Treat twice on a single opponent, or by using Trick or Treat separately on separate opponents, but there is no MP refresh so far for rebuff moves. And then you got X defense, all raises your defense, and an interesting new trainer move called Wait For It. And this basically does is it raises everyone's critical hit rate plus 3. Rather, maximum critical hit rate. I check all the sync pairs that we have. Currently, we do not have a single trainer move or a single attack or a single move that maximizes everyone's critical hit rate. It's always either +1 or +2 only, excluding Team Sharp Entry 1 if there's something like that. But normally, we at least have to use 2 minimum of turns to maximize everyone's critical hit rate. And what Fall Alistair brings to Pokemon Masters right now is 1 Wait For It maximum critical hit rate. That's like a 100% chance of landing a normal attack critical hit, max move critical hit, and an 80% chance of landing a critical hit using a sync move. Interesting. It also affects or activates 0 to 5 random effects. So this is pretty RNG. You got 1, restores everyone's HP by 20%. Number 2, it gives everyone a free move next. Number 3, it fills up your move gauge completely. Number 4, it raises everyone's special moves up next effect by 1. That's a 40% increase when you use a special attack. And number 5, it raises or reduces your sync move countdown -1. Everything here, I guess, is good. Everything is good. Not just... Everything is good. And everything can activate when you use Wait For It. Or none can activate. Or 1 can activate, or 2 can activate. It is purely RNG, guys. What is not RNG is that everyone's critical hit rate will be maxed. And then the others are just a bonus. I personally would love to see restored HP and probably a sync move countdown -1. And probably a free move next effect to everyone. The raises special moves up next, as well as the charge move gauge by 6 is probably the worst ones in this list, but honestly everything here is good. They're pretty optional, but if you are patient enough to play with RNG, this will be awesome. And there's also an MP refresh for Wait For It, but just expect that getting all these 5 effects to trigger is gonna be rare. It's mostly gonna be just 1, 2, 3, but rarely 4 or 5. But if you're, you know, there will probably be YouTube videos of that. I'll probably try to make that work. So wait for that as well, guys. So that is wait for it. Again, the not RNG is the maximum critical hit rate, which is awesome by itself because we do not have that yet in Pokemon Masters ever. So we got X defense all as usual, and now we have the sync move, which does nothing. It's a support sync pair. We got a double sync buff if we decide to make him 6-star EX, but that's about it. Now you have a couple of passive skills. Revenge boost 9. Every single time you get hit, you recover 1 move gauge, which is good. Natural remedy, when you get hit by a status condition for the very first time, that is again poison, paralysis, blah blah blah, you heal immediately, and first aid 4, you restore 40% HP when you get low on health for the very first time, which is a lot of things to do with getting hit and recovering health, which is, you know, implying that this Fall Alistair is gonna be a tanky tank. So let's move on quickly to the sync grid right now. At 1 out of 5, you get clear-headed, prevents you from getting confused. And by the way, confusion is not a status condition in this game. It's different from the status conditions. It is a different thing. X defense all MP refresh 2 at 1 out of 5 so that you can maximize everyone's defenses. 2 out of 5, you get Catalyst move gauge acceleration immediately at the start of the battle. Healthy healing helps you recover health at the start of the battle when you start with full HP. Hex Flabbergast 2 gives you a 30% chance of confusing the opponent when you use Hex on the opponent. And again, Hex will not double in damage when you confuse an opponent, just to make things clear. Also in the main games, Hex does not double in damage when the opponent is confused, although confusion is considered a status condition in the main Pokemon games, but Hex does not double in damage when the opponent is confused. Revenge Boost 2 adds to the Revenge Boost 9 so that when you get hit, you can recover 2 move gauges instead of 1. That's Turner stuff too. If you get hit by a physical attack, you get to receive less damage, making him physically tanky. Unbending defense cannot be lowered. Unflappable, you cannot flinch. And then there's the wait for it MP refresh 2, which, well, you cannot maximize your critical hit rate anymore because there's no way for the opponent to lower down your critical hit rate. I think there's no way like that yet. But then you can bring out several random effects again, which we have discussed earlier. So 0 to 5 random effects can be triggered by using wait for it. 3 out of 5 is interesting. You got active healing 9, which acts like a triage, or rather, which acts as a fist bump 9, something like that. Whenever you use a move, you get to recover HP. Restores the user's HP means that you can use any of the moves like Hex, Trick or Treat, X defense, all wait for it. Whatever you use, you recover a little bit of HP. I love that. I love that. Endurance, you get an Endure effect at the start of the battle when you have full HP. Healing Hand 4, I think, is a new one because we all always have Healing Hand 2. 50% chance of removing everyone's status conditions when you get hit by a status condition, when you attack an opponent. Hex all ramp up 1. Every single time you use Hex, you get to raise everyone's special attack stat by 1. Numbing Blow leaves the opponent paralyzed, and now after paralyzing the opponent, Hex will double in damage. There you go. Synchro Healing, a favorite of mine for support sync pairs, gets to recover 20% HP for everyone after you use a sync move every single time. Team Smart Command, every single time you use X defense all or wait for it, you have a 30% chance of giving everyone a special moves up next effect. That's like a 40% increase in special attack damage, and 2 sync move tiles to make your sync move stronger. Alright, as you might know, it's impossible to get everything, so let us quickly move on to Poma Tools and check out what we can get. 1 out of 5, you get everything. No problem. 2 out of 5, you get a couple of choices. Personally, I'll choose Sterner Stuff 2 to lessen the physical attack damage that we receive. Healthy Healing so that we get to recover HP every single time we attack an opponent at the start of the battle because of the regen effect. Revenge Boost 2 for an extra 30% chance of recovering 1 more move gauge when we get hit. And a Trainer Move MP Refresh 2, wait for it, to give us random effects again. I did not get Move Gauge Refresh 3 for Hex because Hex is not exactly a move gauge either, it's just 2 move gauges. But again, for sync grids, it's all up to you, experiment on it. Meanwhile, I think this is the one that I'll be using. 3 out of 5, I got 2 choices for you. One is Numbing Blow to paralyze the opponent. This is like the offensive build for Alistair. Numbing Blow to paralyze the opponent. And then every single time you hit the opponent using Hex, it will be stronger in damage. We got Synchro Healing. I think this is a requirement, at least for me, for support sync pairs. With Synchro Healing, definitely get Synchro Healing. Synchro Healing. If you skip Synchro Healing, well, shrug. Because normally you're gonna use the support sync pair to use the first sync move anyway if you 6-star EX your support sync pair. We also got Active Healing 9 at the top so that every single time we move, we do something. We get to recover HP as well. So, there's also a Hex Ramp Up 1 at the top left of the screen. I did not get that already. But if you have another sync pair that can maximize everyone's special attack stat, that would be okay. But for me, I think Numbing Blow, Synchro Healing, and Active Healing might be a better option here. But I also have another one, which is your tankier build, I guess. We got Healthy Healing to recover HP. We got Synchro Healing. We got Active Healing. 3 different types of healing on Alistair over here. And we also got the MP Refresh 2 on both builds, so that we have a tiny chance of recovering everyone's HP by 20%. Because that's one of the effects of his trainer move. And that's that, guys. Those are the sync grid options that I have for you. Again, sync grids are completely subjective. You can play with it whatsoever. And now we move on back to the timeline as a refresher for everyone, which a lot of people have been asking me, when do they end, when do they start? I show the screens a lot of times in the video. I'm not sure what part you're skipping at that you missed this part of the video. You are sus. But anyway, Wednesday, October 19, ends on November 2, or rather, ends on November 3, last day is on November 2. And again, they are limited units together with Victor as well as SYGNA Suit WALLY. Meanwhile, Melony and GORDIE are Spotlight Scouts, which you can skip. But then again, you will know the next month's sync pairs probably before, not probably, but before these sync pairs go away from the sync pairs out. So if you want to wait, then go wait. But if you don't want to wait, then enjoy. Good luck scouting. So got very few comparisons for you, honestly, because it's hard to compare support sync pairs. But I decided to compare everyone. And as you might see over here, Fall Alistair has the highest HP, has the highest defense. But the lowest special attack, and average speed and average special defense out of the bunch, the highest special defense is actually Melony. And it would be nice to combine Melony with Fall Alistair, because Melony can make the opponent sleep. And if the opponent is asleep, Hex will also deal double damage. So that also works. But then if you have Hex, well, it depends on the build. If you have Hex, the one that paralyzes the opponent, well, that will be a very bad combination with Melony if you decide to go sleep chaining, because that will not work. So we got the multipliers over here, and as you might see over here, Alistair actually has multipliers, attack move multipliers. You got special moves up next effect, which can be triggered by his trick or wait for it. And a 3 out of 5, you get Team Smart Command something. Team Smart Command 2, was it? 30% chance of giving everyone a special moves up next effect when you use a trainer move. So that's wait for it or X defense all. Now, if you get that thing, if you get Team Smart Command, take note that it's possible that you trigger both special moves up next effect twice. So, one from wait for it, one from Team Smart Command. There's a possibility that you triggered them together. That means an 80% increase in damage of special attack. So, if you're lucky, then that's good. Because if you pair him up with other sync pairs, like for example, SYGNA WALLY, his disarming voice will become stronger, especially with those multipliers out there. Fall Iris will become stronger. Anyone with special moves, strong special moves, will get stronger. As for sync move multipliers, we got none. Fall Iris, and we've discussed Fall Iris. I shared my thoughts on Fall Iris. I feel that Fall Iris is very, very good. In fact, might be the best unit out of this update, if only SYGNA WALLY does not have a buddy move. But Poison Zone is nice. Fairy, we have a lot of fairy types. We don't have a lot of poison types. We have a lot of supports. And then we have grass types, but then he has a max move that can hit everyone, a sync move that can hit everyone if you have him 6-star EX. So, a lot of good sync pairs in this update. How about him? Well, if we check the numbers, this is the only numbers that you'll see on the screen. And these are the numbers that you'll get. Let me hide myself so that you'll have a nicer, better view of the numbers of Fall Iris. Let me just find, here you go. SYGNA WALLY is the strongest sync nuker of the bunch with 37,625,964 with fairy type rebuff one time, I think. One fairy type rebuff, -1 lowered. That will deal 37 million something with our computations, with diploma tools, with weird selected all sync grid tiles. The strongest DPSer, if you want to call it that way, is Victor with 4,020,580. These are not considering buddy moves or max moves, by the way. These are just their strongest attacks. So, Dazzling Gleam for SYGNA WALLY, Wood Hammer for, or rather Drum Beating for Victor, and so on and so forth. Gordie has 2 types of moves. Those are the numbers. Melony is the weakest out of the bunch. And Alistair, dose damage without special moves up next. I did not consider special moves up next effect in any of these numbers, in any of these computations. So if you have the special moves up next, Alistair's attack move max damage will increase a little bit more. And he's a lot stronger than, or a little bit stronger than Melony, I guess. But this is considering you have a Ghost type rebuff -2 for Alistair, guys. Ghost type rebuff -2 for Fall Alistair. SYGNA WALLY has Fairy type rebuff -1. Everyone needs the zone, so these are zone damage, so including the zone things. So, what's to like about Alistair? Sorry I did not do any more numbers because running out of time, as well as very hard to talk about supports. What is good about Alistair? Let's refresh back. Number 1, you got Ghost type rebuff, meaning that your strongest Ghost type sync pairs, your strong Ghost type sync pairs, who are the strong ones? You got Renegade Cynthia, you got Anniversary Lily, you got SYGNA Corinna, you got Morty, you got a lot of other Ghost types. They will become stronger because of the Ghost type rebuff -2 for Trick or Treat. You got Hex is a 1 move gauge attack, either you will, you know, if you pair him up with SYGNA Suit Morty, you got Will-O-Wisp AoE, and then you can burn the opponent. When the opponent is burned, Hex will deal double damage immediately. You got X defense, all a defensive support, you know. If you decide to pair him up, by the way, burning will cut off the opponent's attack stat. Physical attack stat. And that means that Alistair is good to combine with or to use against physical attackers when you burn them. So probably a good combination is Alistair plus Fall Morty against Bruno, a physical attacker. Use X defense all to increase your defense stats. And then if you decide to go for, you know, he has a grid tile called, whatchamacallit? Called Sterner Stuff 2, which will lower the damage you receive by physical attacks as well. And then, as you might remember, wait for it, maximizes your critical hit rate. Which, instant maximum. We never had that yet. Is this a game change? Is this a huge game changer, maximum critical hit rate? No, not really. I mean, you can always use another turn to raise your critical hit rate to max. But is rebuff a game changer? Well, that's the current meta of the game right now. Lower the opponent's resistance / rebuff to one typing. So, I'm not sure what the game is planning. We do not exactly have those strong opponents right now to require rebuffing or anything like that. We got level 150 recently. Do we need level 150? No, we do not need level 150 yet. Do we need 5 out of 5 grids? No, we do not need 5 out of 5 grids yet. But the keyword is yet. We do not need them yet. Will we need them in the future? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. Time will tell. Pokemon Masters, what are you planning? Don't get too greedy. Don't get on our nerves, DNA. Just saying. Right now, it's just the first month of the 5 out of 5 grids. I know a lot of people are not affected, but a group of people, a pretty big group of people that pay Pokemon Masters are affected by this. And you want to keep the paying players in the game, DNA. If you want to keep us around, behave yourself. Behave yourself. We do not get a lot of gems to scout enough of these sync pairs. We do not get enough gems. Free-to-play players do not get enough gems to try scouting for everyone. Don't get on everyone's nerves. You will lose a lot of players this way. So, just an advice from someone who's slowly getting there and considering investing less time in this game. Don't get on our nerves, DNA. But, you know, right now it's more on enjoying these new sync pairs. What do you like about Fall Alistair aside from, you know, the 5 random effects that we can trigger? Again, you can restore everyone's HP, that's mini potion all. You can give everyone free move next effect, that is danger. Never mind. That is basically Ingo's Sandstorm, you know, all aboard effect. Charges move gauge by 6, that's basically rejuvenate 6. So after you use a sync move for some sync pairs, full move gauge or, you know, move gauge boost or something like that. Raises special moves up next effect, we have a lot of that recently. And reduces sync move countdown -1. Also a lot. Adrenaline, something, or rather propulsion, something like that. Good effects. RNG. But the best thing about him is that he is physically tanky. he can raise everyone's critical hit rate. And if you decide to 6-star EX him, his defense stat is crazy high. His special defense also goes up. And then every single time he gets hit, you get to recover your move gauge. Plus he has synchro healing and stuff like that. He also has healthy healing hand 4, which can recover everyone's status conditions. High chance. He has active healing 9 of 3 out of 5 every time you use a move. You get to restore HP. But let me know in the comment section if you're scouting for Fall Alistair or not. Cool outfit. Funny, interesting outfit. I like the mask. I want to wear the mask. Give me the mask. That is fun. How many masks do you have? Anyway, guys, that is it. And I want to end with my usual quote of faves. Choose your faves over the meta. Because if you like Alistair, and if you're worried about the next month's sync pairs, and you are struggling, you really want Alistair, but you want to save up, and you're worried, but you really want Alistair, then go scout for Alistair. Because why not? Because the game will change its meta. I'm assuming next month we will get another rebuff. Or who knows what rebuff we will get. Water type rebuff. Oh wow, that will become stronger, even stronger. How about ice type rebuff? Unova, Villain Arc, imagine Black Kyurem, White Kyurem, Ice type, Dragon type. How about Dragon type rebuff? Or how about Electric type rebuff if Colress gets paired up with Kling Klang or something like that? Who knows, right? Electric type rebuff plus Ash plus Signisutred plus New Year Volkner. My goodness. So those are some things that you can assume or you can speculate might come out in the next update. But faves over the meta, guys. And again, if you haven't seen this yet, check out my how many gems can we get for October 2022, as well as my version for Ash, because Ash is ending tomorrow. Today is your last day to scout for Ash. If you do not get Ash today, you don't have Ash anymore. And I cannot say when Ash will be back. He might not return ever because he is a master pair and he's an anime character. And there is like a lot of... You know how long it took before Ash came into the game? Leon has not yet returned. And Ash, I don't think will ever return if he disappears. But who knows, right? Who knows? Anyway, that is my video. Scout or skip video for Fall Alistair and Gourgeist. If you made it until the end, don't forget to give yourself a pat in the back as well as a thumbs up for this video for all you have learned in today's analysis. Let me know if you're scouting as well, and if you've been watching my videos already for the longest time and you haven't subscribed yet, make this the video that you click on the subscribe button. And make sure your notifications are on. Your bell icon is set to all, because even with personalized, I noticed that a lot of you have not been receiving notifications. If you want to have some fun, join us on Discord. Discord, splgum.com/discord. It's being improved every now and then thanks to my awesome mods. Thank you so much, Iwiz and Roy, for the hard work in my server. Join us! And as always, a thank you, a big thank you to all my gifters who have been showering memberships. To these awesome people, thank you Shadow Phil and Jeremy for your generosity. And to all my members who have been supporting me for the longest time, thank you Shadow Phil, thank you Marokman, thank you Aryan, thank you Tacman and Shido Vods, thank you Alcin, thank you Roy, thank you Luca, thank you Jeremy, thank you Sasori, thank you Marcella, thank you Yeswak, Arima, thank you Iwiz, thank you Tatsuya Gold, thank you Apsaras, and thank you Techme for the support. And with that, I am done Thank you for watching. This is Sol, also known as Spielgum, also known as Spatial Gum, also known as Grunt. You're this Team Skull Grunt. And I will see you in the next video. Right.